Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to WDBJ7 Plus. I'm Michaela Shelton. Happy Friday. We have finally made it to the end of the week. Maybe you have some weekend plans. Looking like it's going to be a gorgeous weekend for us. And we're actually going to take a look at that First Alert hometown weather forecast in just a little bit. Chief Meteorologist Justin Pavic is going to join us to tell us everything we need to know about today and what we can expect going into the weekend. And we're, of course, going to give you all the events and everything that's happening around our hometowns. We're going to preview some cool things we have coming up. And we're also going to get into those top local headlines. And we do want to start by telling you about a funeral that is happening today in Mount Airy, North Carolina for Carroll County Deputy Logan Utt, who was shot and killed in the line of duty this past weekend. And flags across Virginia will also be flown at half staff today to honor him. And we have new reporting on Michael Puckett. He's the man accused of killing Deputy Utt. This past week, we learned Puckett was well known to the legal system for past crimes involving explosives and guns. He had been out on bond awaiting trial for attempting to blow up his old girlfriend's truck. In another case, Puckett served only 8 months on a 40-year sentence involving even more explosives. So our very own Colby Johnson has been looking into that 2016 case and spoke with the judge who sentenced Puckett.
People were convicted of something, and then, like I say, 10 years later, they do something particularly heinous, and you look back and say, well, he should have been in jail for those 10 years. Hindsight's 20/20. I think all judges at least try to do the right thing in each individual case and treat every defendant as an individual.
David Williams was a circuit court judge for 30 years, presiding over cases in Henry and Patrick counties, as well as the city of Martinsville. He says at the time of his felony explosives case in 2016, Michael Puckett had no prior felonies and had not done anything violent.
If I recall correctly, he came across for being, let's say, a little bit crazy and stupid, but not terribly dangerous.
The sentence he handed down was within the recommended guidelines of the Virginia Criminal Sentencing Commission. For Puckett, someone with no prior record at the time, the state recommended a sentence between 7 and 18 months.
In every felony case, you had sentencing guidelines that were set on any given case, and if you went above the guidelines or below the guidelines, you had to give a written explanation as to why you did what you did. Generally, I consider that to be, you better have a pretty good reason, because they keep tabs on that up in Richmond.
Williams said he sentenced within the recommended guidelines on around 80% of the cases in his career. Today, Jody Fridley, director of the Virginia Criminal Sentencing Commission, told me having the sawed-off shotgun was how the guidelines came into play, not the explosives. He says there aren't any guidelines specific to explosive charges in Virginia. He says that's because there aren't enough of those cases convicted to create a sentencing guideline. John Fishwick is a former U.S. attorney and a Roanoke lawyer. He says he believes the 2016 sentencing was too lenient. However, Fishwick says the bigger issue is that Puckett should not have been granted bond after he was arrested in 2023 for being accused of using a homemade explosive to try to destroy his ex-girlfriend's truck.
It seems to me that there were two ways he could have been incarcerated, either not out on bond while he faced these new charges, or they could have moved to revoke his suspended sentence and said, hey, look, you're doing the same thing again. We don't want you out on the streets. In fact, you've got almost 40 years of time that can be imposed on you. We want to go back and impose that sentence for what you did back in 2016.
Reporting in Patrick County, Colby Johnson, WDBJ7.
And Colby Johnson will be covering the funeral today as well, so definitely stay tuned on air and online as we bring you that coverage. All right, well, a Lynchburg judge is keeping in place an injunction that blocks Virginia's background check law for private firearm sales. This comes as the state temporarily resumed the checks under a new law. Virginia State Police posted on its website that private sale background checks are no longer required. It states VSP is prohibited from running these background checks and cannot provide criminal history for the private sale of guns. But as far as sales for gun stores, that's a different situation. Those sales are surging after Governor Spanberger signed several gun safety bills into law. So our very own Austin Hicks checked in with some local gun shops and tells us how coming gun restrictions are leading to big-time sales.
for the last, I'd say, 3 months, we've been running hard. Second we get them in, they're out the door.
Ever since Governor Abigail Spanberger signed several bills restricting the sale of certain firearms and magazine types, the soon-to-be banned items are flying off the shelves. James Sprouse manages Ginger Mafia Tactical. He says customers are panicking, buying at a pace he hasn't seen before.
At least a dozen or so firearms every other day, including suppressors, and it's half of it, I would say, is already pre-ordered for customers. The other half we're putting on the wall, and by the weekend, it's typically out of here.
The FBI reports 75,376 background checks in Virginia in May, up around 20,000 since the start of the year. And it's not just complete firearms moving fast. At Tactical Operations Vault, co-owner Trey Boyd says customers are also buying kits to build AR-style rifles.
Like this cabinet, this is where I generally keep my stripped lowers. Usually every rack is completely full front to back, and about every week it's completely wiped out.
The new laws take effect July 1st. Trey and James say shops across the Commonwealth will feel it.
You know, firearms that have a magazine capacity of more than 15 rounds, we won't be able to have anymore, which is a majority of your weapons nowadays. So it's going to affect us big time as far as having actual gun sales and whatnot.
We're going to be limited. It's going to be a rough time. Hopefully with court hearings and stuff, it'll be overturned and we'll get them back.
Legal challenges are already underway. A circuit court judge in Lynchburg has filed an injunction to block background checks during private firearm sales, and the Commonwealth's attorney in Pulaski County says he will not enforce the new laws. In Vinton, Austin Hicks, WDBJ7.
And we've had multiple localities across our hometown say that they're not going to be enforcing those laws either. So we'll definitely keep you updated as we continue to learn more and continue to cover that situation. All right, well, what's known locally as Virginia's best flour is making a return to our hometown kitchens. Big Spring Mill in Elliston operated for more than 175 years before closing in 2022. Now, new owners are reopening the mill, so our very own Tanisha Jackson has that story.
Former Big Spring Mill customers are celebrating the news the mill is reopening after closing 4 years ago, this time under new ownership.
It was around all my life, and when it went away, it was really sad and was hoping one day it would return. Hopefully they'll be around for generations to come.
The mill began operations in 1850 as a grits mill. Over time, it expanded to making livestock feed and several varieties of baking flour.
I use it for a little bit of everything, make biscuits and seasoned flour, put it on your pork chops or chicken, just about everything, make gravies.
It closed in August 2022. WDBJ7 interviewed owner Bob Long after he announced the mill was shutting down so he could spend more time with his family.
People have been very supportive. I regret that we don't have piles of our flour out here to sell, but we just haven't been able to keep up.
Sheeler Motor Mile owners Larry Sheeler and David Hagan purchased the mill when it went up for auction in spring 2025, and production began just 2 weeks ago.
Everybody's been asking for it for so long, so you know they were listening and they had the capabilities to be able to make that happen, and so thank God they did.
General Manager James Elkins tells me the mill is sourcing wheat and corn from the same farmers and elevators as before, using the original recipes. Elkins says the same products will be available, including biscuit mix. Sales begin in about 2 weeks online and in the retail store, starting with seasonal flour.
And I'll get as much as I can. No, I'm just kidding. I'll leave some for somebody else, but I will be getting some of it, yes. So I've been on a hunt for something similar, and since they've been gone, I've not found anything. So super excited to give it a try again.
Elkins gives credit to former mill head Bentley Hollins, who has returned to work and completely reconditioned the flour mill. In Elliston, Tanisha Jackson, WDBJ7.
Well, I'm glad that's going to be coming back for the people who really missed it. All right, now we want to take a look at some health news for you. Taking the weight loss drug semaglutide may give people with type 2 diabetes a better quality of life than originally thought. So our very own Amir Massenberg has that story and more in this Hometown Health.
Here are your Hometown Health headlines. Exposure to even moderate levels of air pollution may cause heart damage. That's according to one of the largest studies to date published in the journal Radiology. Researchers analyzed over 11,000 adults who'd undergone cardiac CT exams between 2012 and 2023 in Canada. They say the findings suggest even levels of air pollution below or near regulatory standards are associated with early signs of heart disease, often before symptoms even appear. Plus, a new study is challenging long-held beliefs about women's heart health. Researchers at Tulane University say being female is not a universal factor for stroke among patients with AFib. The study suggests increased stroke risk is more like modified by being female. Age may play a larger factor, primarily among women 75 and older or those with other health conditions. AFib is the most common heart rhythm disorder. Plus, new research links the GLP-1 medication semaglutide to a better quality of life for adults with type 2 diabetes and chronic kidney disease. The study shows taking once a week semaglutide reduced risk of major kidney disease events by 24% compared with a placebo over 3 years. Over 850 million people around the world live with chronic kidney disease, and cases have more than doubled since 1990. For your Hometown Health, I'm Amir Massenberg.
All right, well, that was a look at some of your top local headlines for this Friday, but we have a lot more coming up. In just a little bit, we are going to take a look at that First Alert hometown weather forecast, see what we can expect for this upcoming weekend, and then later in the show, we are also going to take a look at some events happening across our hometowns for the weekend, and also this brand new initiative here in the Roanoke area to give 1,000 kids free books. So stay with us. We have a lot coming up. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Thanks for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. We are now joined by our chief meteorologist, Justin Povick. Justin, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes.
We made it.
Yes, we did. We are basically at the weekend, and, you know, I've been just so enjoying this nice weather, getting outside, and it looks like it is going to continue for us through the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to stretch out, not to be too humid out there either. So tolerable type heat. We're talking 80s and, you know, some low 90s, but nothing too extreme. And then lots of this. Had a beautiful sunrise this morning. Michaela, check it out.
Wow,
This was
gorgeous.
Isn't that nice, right?
Yes.
This is up my way, northeast side of town, up toward Bonsack, and not too far from Botetourt County. And yeah, we've had lots of scenes and sights like this, of course, with mostly clear skies around. Looks like our skies should stay mostly clear over the course of the next couple of days. There's the view currently in Roanoke, Mountain Lake Lodge, and into Blacksburg. You can see a few high clouds streaming their way in, but it's not really keeping those temperatures from climbing quickly. Now in the 80s already, and this was as of 11 a.m., so we've got a long ways to go. 82 in Danville, 70s around Lewisburg and Blacksburg, and 60s currently in Hot Springs, but you'll be jumping up into the 70s and 80s as well. So might remind you a little bit of summer, so let's say hello to summer. If you're venturing out to Salem, great. A festival kicking off here later on this afternoon. This evening out at Green Hill Park. Looks like we're around 90 at 5. Make sure you find ways to stay cool, and then look at that, still around 80 degrees toward that 9 o'clock hour. Lots of hometown events coming up here as we go throughout the weekend out in Blacksburg. Also, again, as you can see there into Roanoke toward a Black Dog Salvage, a big event going on there. Temperatures are going to be heating up here as we go through the weekend, but it's not going to be humid, like I said, and also not going to be all that windy. Now, there's some free fishing days coming up today, tomorrow, also into Sunday. Again, this is all statewide, and it looks like fishing conditions should be in spectacular shape. No concerns out there on the water. Stray thunderstorm chances we head our way towards Sunday afternoon, but I do think most spots will be dry. Water temperatures out at the lake here this weekend, warming up through the 70s. Of course, those pool temperatures will fluctuate and vary. UV index, though, is going to be sky high again toward the top of the chart, so make sure you have that sunscreen as you're headed out. Look at that sunset. Now not until 8:37 p.m. One thing we're not going to see a lot of the next several days would be rain. This is one model depiction of our future rainfall set all the way through next Friday. And looking at many spots under a half an inch of rain, some areas could literally go another week without a drop of rain, and that would make for about a 2-week stretch with hardly any precipitation. Here's your first alert Super 7-day forecast. Temperatures come down just a bit as we head our way toward next week. Again, I think there'll be a few showers Monday, Tuesday, but as you saw there in that precipitation map, not a lot really stacking and adding up. Next week later on, looks like we'll start to round the corner. Could see some more heat building, Michaela, by next weekend. I think 90s are definitely back in play. So a lot of days there where you can get outside. It's in the 60s to start, so it's not super hot, but the afternoons will definitely feel, you know, a little bit more, you know, let's say humid than we typically are by next week.
Okay, yeah, I know it has been nice to have those humidity levels low.
It's been a nice
I've really
break.
been, you know, yeah, just enjoying that, getting ready to really feel the heat, though, it looks like coming up. But,
Yeah.
you know, as I was telling you before we started the show, I'm actually heading south down to the beach this weekend.
all
So,
right,
and I compared the temperatures. We're
Okay.
actually hotter up here
Are we?
than we are down there. It's going to be like high 80 on
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday, which is still fine. You know, great beach weather. I'll take it.
Yeah, you
But-
get that little sea breeze coming in,
Yeah.
cool you off a little bit, and I'm sure the ocean temperature is going to be nice as well. I was talking with Leo the other day about that. You know, right around 78 to 80 degrees. That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I'm always interested to see what's the water going to feel like.
Right,
Am I
right.
going to want to get in? Because I'm not one to get in cold water. So that is
Right.
good to
I'm
hear.
the same way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I do love to get in, but only if it's tolerable. So, but yeah,
Yep.
for everyone back home, just make sure to put on the sunscreen and, like you
Yes.
said, find some shade and ways to stay cool.
Yeah, hydrate. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Justin, and
Yeah, you
thank
bet.
y'all for staying with us. But don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more coming up. We're going to talk about a big initiative for Roanoke kids where they will be receiving a lot of free books, and then we're going to talk about some upcoming events for you. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to WDBJ7 Plus. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm now joined by Jessie Kaufman, and she is with the Roanoke City Public Library Foundation. Jessie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And so I wanted to bring her on to talk about this new initiative that is being launched. It's called 1000 Bright Futures, and it is essentially to give away books to 1,000 local children in the area. And so, Jessie, just kind of give a little bit of background on, this initiative and how this came about.
Sure. This initiative is a large collaboration amongst Roanoke City and Roanoke County organizations. I get to represent both the Junior League of Roanoke Valley and the Roanoke Public Library Foundation, Roanoke City Public Library Foundation. And so we were two of many organizations on an initial call for the possibility of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library coming to our area. Because within Virginia, we were two of the only ones that were not currently signed up, which meant that we had children in our area not able to get free books.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'll say I have heard about this. I think Martinsville does it, a lot of places around our area. So I'm really glad and excited to hear that Roanoke is now a part of it too.
As are we. We feel like it was a missing link in the things that could be done in the community to help early literacy and to help everyone get on the literal same page. So
right. Yes, absolutely. And I think I saw, in the press release that y'all sent out that, as soon as this launched, y'all had, I believe, over 100 kids already go ahead and sign up, right?
My understanding as of today, it's 400. So this exceeds all expectations, and we are so excited.
Yeah. No, that's truly amazing. Were y'all expecting that number?
I think we were hoping to hit that 1,000. So I think we may do that sooner than we anticipated, which is wonderful because it is free to sign up. And so children 0 to 5 can get a book a month from the Dolly Parton Foundation. And so why not sign your children up at that point? You can build your home library. You can get them ready when they're ready to enroll in school. So.
Yeah. And so are there any, requirements or rules that, when people go to sign up that they have to meet? Or is this, free and open to anyone?
That is the beauty of this, is there are no barriers. You have to have a place where the mail can be delivered. Other than that, signing up is as easy as going to the website, which is imaginationlibrary.com. And then you can enroll through that. And it is completely free to caregivers and to the children. The mail comes addressed to the children. And that would be 5 books per month. So if someone signs their child up at birth, they could potentially have 60 books free from this service.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's incredible. I love that. And then they come in the mail, or do people pick them up from somewhere? Okay, gotcha.
They come in the mail, and that is delivered directly to them.
Wow, that's awesome. And really does, like you said, eliminates a lot of barriers. And so talk about the importance of that, connecting kids to books, in this way at such a young age.
Sure. Because early literacy and the connection to at such a young age, it will build language, it will build critical learning skills that will support a lifetime of literacy and academic success. Because of this, that's why Roanoke City Public Schools has partnered, so that when children join the school system, they are better prepared. Due to the COVID learning loss, they were finding that children were not quite as ready to start school. The reduction in barriers is exciting because books that are left over will be distributed by both the city library to the Star City Reads program that they do in the schools, as well as to CHIP, the Child Health Investment Partnership, will deliver that to their families. So not only do we have these partners that are helping get the books in hand, they're also signing up new families. So the wider we can reach, the better the program will be.
Yes, for sure. And so, again, this is at imaginationlibrary.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so yeah, so people can just go there, and I'm assuming their zip code just has to be in the Roanoke area.
Roanoke City or County, and I believe every other surrounding community already has it in place. So
Yeah.
we were the last to join in the area, but hopefully we will have a very strong presence to make up for that.
Right, yeah. And so this is over the next 3 years, right? And so once it hits 1,000, that's the cap.
The cap right now is as far as the funding will stretch. Initially, the Junior League signed, along with a couple other organizations, have signed up for what we thought was 2 years in seed money. But if things continue to be this successful, we encourage other community partners to step up. Donations are welcome to extend this. We are hoping that, much like in other communities, once the seed money is there, that others will want to be involved, especially when they see how successful and how beneficial this is for families.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm so glad to hear this, that this is now available for kids in our area. And so, again, if you are interested, if you want to sign your kids up, that's just go to imaginationlibrary.com and you can sign up there. So, Jesse, was there anything else you wanted to add at all?
No, just a huge thank you to everyone that made this possible. It was so many partners that came together. And so we just really appreciate the community effort on behalf of all the children.
Right. Yes, absolutely. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jesse, for joining us to talk more about that. And
Yes,
thank
thank
y'all for
you.
watching. But don't go anywhere. Coming up, we will have much more here on WDBJ 7 Plus. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. All right, craving a latte in a small town, I've been there, like Independence, for example, can sometimes leave you driving miles out of the way. I'm sure you can probably relate, but a father and son duo is making sure you can get your caffeine fix close to home, plus a New York bagel to pair with it. So our very own Logan Sherrill is checking out the Almost Famous Cafe in this week's Hometown Eats.
And we're tired of traveling 20 miles for a decent cup of coffee.
That's a long way to drive when you're cranky in the morning. Thankfully, for those in Independence, it's just a quick trip down Main Street. Welcome to Almost Famous Cafe.
When we were trying to come up with a name, one name popped up. That was another shop. I said, well, they're famous. My son said, well, we're almost famous. And it was kind of a joke, and it stuck.
Owner Jeff Thomas and his son Jared originally planned to open a retail shop for tea, coffee, and spices, but an idea kept brewing for something truly unique.
New York bagels, this is crazy. I haven't had one since I was in New York. A lot of people are really happy about that.
You won't find the menu online. The only way to know what's for breakfast and lunch? Read the wall.
We do the classic breakfast bagels.
With some of the fluffiest eggs I've eaten in a while. They don't have a flat top or a stove, so these eggs are baked in the pizza oven.
Is that not the fluffiest looking egg you've ever seen? These eggs are incredible.
Searching for lunch? Jeff's homemade chicken salad is famous and sold by the pound.
It's a little different. It's got chunk chicken. We roast our chicken here in the shop. You'll pick out celery and onions right away. It also has a few other things that you might not notice. And it just all adds to great flavor.
Is that a raspberry? Craisin. The celery and the craisin together. That's a wonderful match. Make sure to ask for the Logan cut tomato. Jeff will know what you're talking about.
As for the coffee, that's Jared's specialty.
Jared is our mixologist. We've got over 25 flavors here.
And if you can't decide,
surprise me, we'll put together a combination for him. Ask him a couple of questions. Do you like fruity? Do you like chocolatey? Caramel? What do you like?
For me, Jared mixed up a strawberry cheesecake smoothie, one of their top sellers.
Complete with the graham cracker at the bottom. It's good on a hot day. I think I just figured out why my smoothies at home aren't nearly as good, because I don't put nearly as many strawberries in there as Jared did. That's the key.
To keep your fame, you gotta evolve, something this cafe continues to do.
We do fresh squeezed lemonade. Now we're moving into pizza. We're hoping to start doing some like panini sandwiches in the near future. We're really trying to expand out and catch a lot of different food influences.
And don't be surprised when Jeff wanders over and starts chatting you up. It's what he loves best.
We've gotten great reviews. You know, these people are really cool. They're really laid back. They're really nice.
All right, thank you.
And it's mostly because we just sit there and we'll sit and talk with you while you're here.
Almost Famous Cafe, a hometown eat, putting Independence on the map.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the best parts about going to a locally owned restaurant is just connecting with the owners and feeling right at home. You definitely don't get that at chain restaurants. So that is so cool. Definitely want to check that out if you can. I personally need one of those strawberry cheesecake smoothies that looked amazing. All right, well, we want to let y'all know about some events, of course, that are happening across our hometowns this upcoming weekend. We've got some live music, a wine festival, historical plays. That's just some of the few things that our hometowns have coming up this weekend. So Kimberly McBroom tells us all about it in this week's Hometown Entertainment.
With nice weather expected Friday, why not kick off your weekend with some outdoor live music while supporting local charities? The Nashville Knights Band is performing at First Fridays in downtown Roanoke. You'll hear popular country hits from the 90s while enjoying food and drinks. The event runs from 5 to 9 p.m. Admission is $10. Roanoke's Friday night music scene also includes a concert by Lauren Elena at Dr. Pepper Park. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission tickets start at around $39 each. Raise a glass and toast the Blacksburg Fork and Cork on Saturday. It's happening from 1 to 5:30 p.m. at historic Smithfield. The event showcases local and regional wineries along with artists and restaurants. Enjoy wine tastings, live music, cooking demos, and more. Regular tasting tickets are $35 in advance, $40 the day of. If you've got an appetite for food trucks, make your way down to Danville for the Bridge Street Food Truck Rodeo on Saturday. Enjoy a wide range of delicious food along with art and craft vendors in the River District from noon to 6 p.m. If you like a little history mixed with your entertainment, you can check out Jefferson and Adams, a stage play hosted by Thomas Jefferson's Poplar Forest in Lynchburg. The performance is happening Sunday night at 7. Tickets are $25 for adults, $20 for college students and youth, $7 for children under 6. As always, we posted links to tickets to all of these events on our website. If you'd like us to spotlight something in your hometown, send an email to hometownentertainment@WDBJ7.com. I'm Kimberly McBroom with this week's Hometown Entertainment.
And this month is also Gun Violence Prevention Month, and today is actually Gun Violence Prevention Day. So we do have a couple events happening in our hometowns today that I wanted to let y'all know about. This is the Fed Up event that's happening here in Roanoke. They are a local advocacy group, and they are installing an art installation to show the prevalence of gun violence in our community. And Fed Up stands for Families Expecting Deliverance Using Prayer. And this temporary installation will be on the Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge in Gainsboro, and that's titled They Had Dreams. It's going to include 80 banners depicting community members lost to gun violence, and that installation will span the entire bridge on both sides. So they are welcoming people to join them at 7 o'clock tonight. They are going to hold a mindful remembrance walk starting at the Martin Luther King Jr. statue over the bridge and back. And attendees are asked to please wear orange. That's the color that demands attention and signifies a future free from gun violence. And then also over in Lynchburg, there is another event from 6 to 8 tonight, and that is put on by the Lynchburg Peacemakers. And they're also asking people to wear orange. This is going to take place at 1704 12th Street in Lynchburg. Again, that's from 6 to 8 p.m. They are just wanting to bring awareness and, working together to end gun violence and build safer communities. And so that is also happening today. Just wanted to let y'all know about that. Also want to let you know about the competition that we are holding. That is the Star Spangled Sing-Off. We have, been bringing you this for probably the past month. We had a lot of submissions from talented people across our hometowns that recorded themselves singing the Star Spangled Banner, and now it's your turn to vote. So you can do this until June 12th. Just go to our website, WDBJ7.com/contest, and make your voices heard. Show some love for our hometown people that have submitted, and they will all have a chance to win a free trip to Nashville where they will record a performance that will air across the country. So definitely go show some love to them and give them a chance to go to Nashville and record that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. I know we've got quite a few submissions. I'm very excited to see them and hear, how they sound. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of talented people. Tell your friends, tell your family to go vote. But yeah, so that is really all we have for today's show. I really appreciate y'all joining us, and make sure to stay tuned though. We do have our noon newscast coming up here in just a little bit, where they'll give you the rundown on the latest breaking news, any updates, weather, things like that. And if you are watching on Facebook or our website, you can also watch this 24/7, all of our newscasts streaming right here on WDBJ7 Plus. If you just download the app on your smart TV, you can go in and watch all of our shows that we have, our noon, our 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, they all stream live. But you can also watch anything on demand. Basically anything you see us do here on our stream or, anything, you can go in and we have those on demand so you can watch anytime, anywhere, at your own disposal. So it's really great stuff here. We also have our First Alert Hometown Weather Show that live streams here for about half an hour every Monday through Friday at 1:30. All of our meteorologists put together great content for that show. It's really educational, entertaining, and just really cool to see that. And then also here we have our Hometown Sports Huddle. That's every night at 6:30, Monday through Friday, where they, get together, Mitch and Austin and Dave, they get together and they talk sports and they do exclusive interviews, and it's really also great exclusive content there too. But we've really got stuff streaming from now. From the morning, we do our reruns of Here at Home and 7 at 4, and then all the way till the evening. We have stuff streaming live here on this new WDBJ7 Plus platform. So if you haven't already, download the app on your TV, check it out. There's lots of other cool content there too. We've got Aging Untold, which is a brand new talk show that basically destigmatizes aging and, tells you a bunch of tips and advice to help you or your parents or grandparents. We've got just a lot of great stuff here. As for this show in particular, we are live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Monday, I will be off. I'm going to be heading to the beach, but Amir Massenberg is going to be filling in for me, so definitely check that out. But again, thank y'all so much for watching. If there's anything that y'all want to see, let us know. Just send us an email, news@wdbj7.com, or you can even send us a message on Facebook. However you'd like to do it, we always want to hear your feedback. We really built the show based off of comments that we got on Facebook saying you want to see hyper-local content. So that's really what we like to emphasize here. But any other ideas, let us know. We're always open to suggestions. But for now, I hope y'all have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend as well. And I will see y'all next time.